Hello again. I'm Sharon, and I did one introductory video before this one, and I've never video blogged before, but I'm doing this because I really believe that it's really important to document my thoughts and feelings and my experience with God and just all the things that have happened that have led me to just really believing in Him and having faith in God. I'm not necessarily tied to believing that, God has a human gender. I do believe in the Bible, in the Christian Bible. That's my particular faith. However, I know that God speaks to people where they are, and I'm not in any way saying that you have to adopt my. Whoops, I dropped the phone. That you have to adopt my particular religion or belief. Now I'm upside right in order to believe in God fully, because God can find you where you are and teach you in your heart what you need to know and lead you where you need to go and bring the right people into your life that need to be brought into your life in order for you to have an amazing relationship with God. So I'm saying this not as a preacher. I'm not a preacher. I'm just a regular, flawed human being with a very, I think, interesting story and interesting past and interesting life. And it's a journey that God brought me through. And so I'm sharing it because I want to offer encouragement. Right now, we are going through a crazy experience with a global pandemic called COVID-19, where people are getting this awful flu-like virus that's debilitating people. It's thickening their blood, making them unable to breathe. And it's killing people. It's like killing people by the hundreds of thousands all around the world. So people in America, for the first time maybe ever, are masking and required to wear masks in public places and are banned from socializing in indoor settings above a certain number of people, and all of these things that are happening, and it's freaking people out. People are scared. It's wreaking havoc in our economy. At the same time, we're dealing with sort of a racial revolution, a Black Lives Matter movement that's really important and needed to happen. And some people are, shooting police officers and hurting police officers as a way of expressing their anger, which is absolutely not by any means my belief of the right thing to do. By no means. I definitely follow the teaching of Dr. King and his belief that peaceful protest is the way to, combat hatred, and it wakes people up and inspires people. We lost John Lewis this year, just a couple of months ago. I would just say Google him, but he was an incredible man of God, a peaceful person who fought right along Dr. King. So anyway, there's that going on in our city here in the Seattle area, in our local cities. There's been just nonstop protesting, looting, angry. There's peaceful protests, and then there's angry protests, and they're sort of happening at the same time. And so the news has sort of been lumping them together as though it's all one thing. Our president currently, President Donald Trump, is, in my opinion, I don't even know if I want to go there. Again, I'll say Google it, look it up, look in the history books if you're watching this years later. This is currently the year 2020. It's September 4th. And yeah, so anyway, the only reason I'm saying all of that is to give you some context into what is happening in our world right now. For me personally, I have two children. One is 16, the other is 30. Both present as males in the world, have been gender identified by the world as males. I am gender identified as female. I consider myself she, her, they. I definitely recognize male energy in my being that gives me, I don't know how to explain that further. Maybe in another post, I'll explain that in more detail. But what I want to say is that I am a survivor of domestic violence as a child, of domestic violence as an adult woman, um, of alcoholism. I've been sober, clean and sober for 21 years as of July 10th of 2020. I have survived lots and lots of racism, genderism, ageism. I currently work, I just started actually this week working with the superintendent's office here in Washington State. I will be delivering trainings to support McKinney-Vento and homeless youth and throughout the state. I'm very excited about that. That is a journey that I definitely want to share that story with you because as a single parent, as a single parent, among other things, Black, female, single parent here in Seattle. I was born in Pittsburgh and then raised in many cities, very rural, suburban communities throughout the Midwest in the 70s. And in the 80s, I landed with because my dad worked for an organization that had him traveling a lot as he progressed and climbed up the corporate ladder, if you will, and created a life for us, me and my family, where we did not have to live in poverty the way that my parents both were raised in. So we grew up all over the country and landed in Connecticut when I was going into 8th grade. And that's a very long story, but lots of racism. I experienced lots of alienation. My parents, both undiagnosed alcoholics. I think my mom had undiagnosed mental illnesses, but because they weren't diagnosed, for me and my two older siblings, we just dealt with the wrath of what that meant without discussion, without healing. And so as an adult, I came into my own isms and survival mode, which was really just to appear to be normal to the external world based on what I observed normal to look like amongst my friends and community members and just people around me. I really had no clue how to take care of myself, but I did know about God. When I was a little girl, my parents went to Ebenezer Baptist Church in Monongahela, Pennsylvania, and they were part of the choir. And there was a song that they sang at Easter that was really compelling and it moved my heart. I was 4 when we moved from Pittsburgh. So that just tells you I have very vivid memories of my life as a very little girl. But anyway, God made himself known to me, and my earliest memory of that was through music when I was 4. And that continued throughout my life and all of the, self-inflicted, self-destructive behavior that that I did, the way that I lived as a young person, particularly, especially after high school, even during high school, trying to get good grades and then just really not caring, skipping school. There's really no reason why today I should have a successful career doing something that matters to me in a house that is beautiful with my 2 amazing offspring and 2 furry babies, a cat and a dog, Buddha and Shadow. We call her Kitty Face. I just have this incredible life today, and the whole journey, the thread woven into my beginnings up until this point in my life is God and Jesus Christ, who is my loving Savior. Again, there's been, what I'm going to do through these series of video blogs is tell you instances where God miraculously saved my life, and from coming into recovery and on. So I'm going to end here. Next time I'm going to talk more about that, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. All right, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.